everybody, and welcome to Faces in the Field. My name's Adam Darengowski. I work with the communications team at Miller Pipeline. Faces in the Field is, of course, where we highlight the actions of one of our teammates making it happen out on the job site. Today, that teammate is Al Smith. He is a restoration general foreman out of the Chicago area. Al, thanks for coming on Faces in the Field.
Hey, no problem. Anything to help?
Well, first of all, let's get your kind of origin story in this business. Like, how did you find your way into this specialty within our industry?
To sum up, I was kind of around this business ever since a young age. My sister started a company in Chicago called Cox Construction. I worked there as summer help, so that kind of ignited me in this world of this construction world. And I kind of wasn't into it. Interesting enough, I bounced around with a couple of different jobs, and I wound up playing a little bit of ice hockey, and that kind of didn't go as far as I thought it was going to go, but that's okay. I got myself back into college, and then I ran through one of my old hockey buddies who was a cement finisher for a larger company called Walsh.
Oh.
And subsequently, we did some work together, and he tried getting me in that, which was a cement finisher by trade. It was very difficult. So I kind of didn't want to do it. So I went with another hockey buddy, went to a sign fabrication company, which taught me a lot of my skills. And then I still was working with my buddy Phil with like Walsh doing side work. And then I ultimately fell back into concrete. And in doing so, one of the companies I worked for was a curb and gutter outfit, which they did those ADAs, which are those red tiles you see in those intersections. And then I was one of the first people to get trained on it. And then I was specialized in that. And that grew to something even larger where I was like specialized. And then I was wanted by other companies. And subsequently, that's how I found my way to, at that time, was KS Energy through Bob Nowak and Troy Anderson. And they needed help on the construction side of the concrete side of gas. And then it was mainly because of ADA specialists, because they were going through neighborhoods and this all had to get done. So I worked my way that way, and it just grew from there. We increased our production. I worked very well, just like I mentioned earlier off camera about Jason Tiledeski. We both teamed up together to try and organize this more. And then it kind of, with the help of Bob Nowak as well, we just grew this into where it is now.
And so what I'm hearing is everyone should play hockey. That's how it all starts.
Well, you can. Great sport. You got stitches and fake teeth to prove it. So
that's a tough guy. Classic hockey guy.
Yeah.
So
Great game.
I'm curious, like looking back on it, bouncing around in a couple different industries with a couple different groups, what didn't allow you to get discouraged and maybe leave the industry and not make this a career?
What was interesting with those other trades that I was involved in, I was always around the situation of solving a problem and getting something done, and just the ability and just the machines and the people I work with and some of my mentors, it was just really cool to solve a problem, no matter what it was: digging a hole, a sewer issue, a sign problem, hanging a sign, doing a piece of curb that's unique, just a problem solving aspect. It was just really cool. And when at the end of the day, you created something from nothing, and that I still see today. People are walking over my sidewalks, driving down our like roadways, looking at some of the signs that I fabricated and hung and painted and welded. So there was like a lot of techniques that I was fortunate enough to be taught and kind of excelled in. And that was part of it. And I got to tell you, I was like nervous at first because, you're jumping into this world, and boy, things are relying on things I did. But then I grew to accept that and kind of use that as motivation. And then I never really to this day said no.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Let's try it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's only one. I mean, if they don't have me do it, someone else is going to do it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the techniques and theory that I taught myself throughout the career.
With your specialty specifically, I think the layman, myself included, doesn't understand the amount of attention to detail and artistry that kind of goes into it. Can you kind of speak to that and how much you have to pay attention to the very specific minutia of that restoration project?
Just to specifically just point out concrete alone. I was by trade, or still am, a finisher, a concrete cement mason. And what I was taught because of this trade, in which I still use, when people ask this kind of question, a carpenter could go cut another board. An electrician could bend some more pipe and pull some more wire. Plumber could sit back and plug the pipe and see what he got to do. Cement finisher, we got one shot. Concrete doesn't wait for anybody. So if I'm not correct with my grades or my heights, because everything else is being or is getting pulled off the concrete work, I'm fired.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. We can't go back and change it. We can't go back and cut that piece out. Basically, when that floor is done, you're done. When that curb is in, it's in, and everybody's waiting on you. So the pressure of the grades and some of the techniques, the artistry, I consider myself an artist along with other cement masons out there. People used to think, well, you're just swinging your arms around. And I chuckle. I said, no. And then I sometimes force people to do my job. A shovel of concrete is 75 pounds. A wheelbarrow of concrete is 200 pounds. A yard of concrete is 6,000 pounds. So if I did 65 yards of concrete that day, how much weight did I push around with the rest of my laborers and gentlemen? So that's kind of to help you out with my it's not just what you see is you see a finished product, but the work involved in that finished product is pretty intense. And then it's all contingent on, and that concrete, you don't know when it's going to settle up. It could go in 15 minutes, could take an hour and a half. So you're constantly, it's kind of like an anxiety that I somewhat have, but I enjoy it. It's really cool to get a project done to look at and say, we just kind of did that from scratch. We just pulled it off grades, and now you're getting the sod down. Now the asphalt's coming in, and then boom, complete project.
Put yourself like in the position of a younger person who's maybe kind of experiencing the same kind of path you were. How would you sell them on making this not just a job, but a career and an artistry that they can get into?
Hard work in this trade, especially being a cement mason, pays off. It's very hard. It's very difficult. It's kind of hard on your body, but you're also needed, and it's also going to last probably a long time, because you either have wood or concrete, and things got to get built. So if you could teach yourself to be in this business and in my trade, you will work. It's not always consistent, but if you do your job well, especially in any field, but especially in cement masonry, you're wanted. And you have that satisfaction of when it's done. It's there forever. That piece is, I go back and see sidewalks I did in 2004. It's still stamped.
Yeah.
So,
well, we have a program at Miller called What I Live For. It just reminds us to be safe, reminds us why we all want to go home in one piece. So, Al, what do you live for?
Good question. Good question. Actually, to just be a good father, a better husband, an excellent friend, and someone who could that you could turn to for help.
Yeah.
That's it. I who doesn't want to be a better person?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Honestly, it isn't about money to me. It's trying to be a good person possible and helping as much people can, because a lot of people helped me in my youth because they didn't exactly come from the ideal situation. So
right.
I kind of pay it for as much as I can, and hopefully that's your answer.
Well, I like to end every Faces in the Field with some rapid fire questions. I'm just going to toss them out to you, and you just give me the first thing that pops into your head. All right?
Sure.
All right. So Favorite season that you had to work in? Was it spring, summer, winter, or fall?
Spring.
Spring. Okay. Even with the rain, I know that's an issue for concrete.
It's just the excitement thing getting going and ready to go, that everything's being laid out in front of you. So let's go.
Yeah. New tools or day off?
Tools.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Always feels good to get something new.
Absolutely.
And then finally, who's winning the cup this year? We're going to go hockey themed.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I really do like New Jersey because they have the most American-born kids. So I actually follow teams that have the most American-born players, and they kind of have the most of them. So that's kind of, I know they're a long shot, but I think just New Jersey is just a really good part.
Yeah.
Of the country as well.
Yeah. So the Leafs are going to get heartbroken again this year, is what I'm hearing.
Probably, but American-born kids is what I watch. You get more American-born kids, and then I'll watch you.
Yeah, so. There you go. Well, Al, thanks for coming on Facing the Field. I appreciate it.
Can I just say one more thing? Because if my wife now would be upset, but she's also been behind me 100% with how crazy this job gets, and she's helped me all the time. So if she sees the review, my wife Laura's been an absolute godsend to this business and helped me with all these trying times of this trade as well. And of course, I shout out my son Albert. So,
well, you thank Laura for letting us rent you for probably too much time. We really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks. Hopefully that's what you guys want to hear. And I'm glad to have the interview. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, he's Al Smith. He is a general foreman specializing in restoration out in Chicago. If you want to join Al's team, be sure to visit MillerPipelineCareers.com. Be sure to also visit MillerPipelineStore.com. We've got some new gear up there as well. And as always, follow us on social media. This has been Facing the Field. We'll see you next month.